call the meeting to order. A moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Kindle.
Present.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Present.
Councilman Jenny.
Here.
Councilwoman Pies.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Present.
Councilman Toussaint is absent. Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney DeWally.
Here.
I need a motion to excuse
Madam Mayor?
Councilman Toussaint.
Madam Mayor, I'll offer the motion to excuse Councilmember Toussaint for previous engagement.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I need approval of the minutes.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to approve, receive, and file the regular city council meeting held October 17th, 2022, to receive and file the library board meeting held on September 15th, 2022, and to receive and file the election commission meeting held on October 17th, 2022.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comments on the agenda item. Only on the agenda items, you have an opportunity to speak. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor,
I need a resolution.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 10.
Support.
Okay, discussion. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
All right, there brings us to old business, and since there's none, we'll go to new business, city manager report.
Okay, item G1, public hearing 2023 budget. Mayor and council, the public hearing on the 2023 budget has been scheduled. A final copy of the budget is enclosed with your packet. For the public hearing, I will give a brief overview of the budget, after which public comments should be invited. For this agenda item only, the standard motions to open and close the public hearing is required. Action on the budget is in the next two agenda items.
Madam Mayor,
I need a motion.
I'll offer the motion to open the public hearing on the 2023 budget.
Support.
Any discussion? Public hearing is open.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I have a quick question of the acting city manager, and that is, I know we're adopting the tax levy resolution next. And then you mentioned the Milk River drain assessment. That is included in this budget, isn't that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't over and above this. I think most of us, are not happy with the fact that the levy is quite so high, and we anticipate that it's going to come down in the not-too-distant future. Is that correct?
It has the possibility of coming down. What we've tried to do is lessen the impact. 8 mills will be on the winter tax, 4 mills will be on the summer tax. As the retention ponds get built, at the Eastland Commerce Center. Fees will be reevaluated, and of course, the millage rates will be reevaluated as well.
Okay, so they could change even during the year?
Well, we're paying, I want to say principal payments, we're paying interest payments, we're paying operation and maintenance cost of the Milk River Drain, and this is the first year, and we're starting from zero. We settled a lawsuit regarding this matter for $2 million, so it's kind of taken our fund balance almost to zero. So I can't promise that, but I can say that possibly next year we will look at it, you know, with the intention of reducing it if there is, you know, any sort of surplus.
And I'll ask, could the city manager give the community a little overview of the budget that's being presented here tonight?
Sure,
This was just really important.
I will go fund by fund, please. I hope I don't put anybody to sleep here, but here it goes. It's a little long. Okay, the general fund. The general fund is the city's main operating fund and is still a concern for 2023. We are seeing an increase in residential property values, with commercial property tax appeals being somewhat less than prior years. The city has made excellent strides in reducing costs associated with health insurance for active employees and future retirees. Medicare supplemental insurance plans for active retirees are currently being evaluated. The city has capped future pension costs for a majority of active employees, but the cost of providing health care and legacy pension expenses continues to represent a major expense that puts a strain on this fund. In spite of financial challenges facing the city, service levels remain high for police, fire, parks, DPW, and other city-provided services. Improvements for the year 2023 include new windows at City Hall, a self-standing generator to address energy needs during power outages, and potential changes in police and fire service models. Significant past budget variances were present due to decreased revenue from federal, state, and local resources, and decreased revenue collections overall due to COVID-19 related concerns. Our overall taxable value for residential property has increased for this year, and a new development at the Eastland Mall site is being undertaken for 2023. This $94.2 million investment will stabilize commercial values in that location and provide a reliable revenue stream in the future. The city is exploring regulations in the cannabis industry for 2023, and a new housing development is being proposed for the closed Popart Elementary School building. All of these measures together ensure more jobs for the community and an expanding tax base that should further stabilize the city's revenues. The city will be implementing a Headley tax reduction onto the mills assessed for general operating purposes and reducing the mills for the Public Act 33 assessment to supplement police and fire operations. Our 2023 budget projects a bleak even fund balance due to the uncertainties associated with inflation and other factors. The 2023 budget assumes a successful adoption of Public Act 33 law by our City Council for police and fire services. There will be no reduction in police or fire services provided to residents or businesses in the city of Harper Woods. The city also levies a Public Act 359 millage not to exceed $50,000 to enhance the image of the city through publication and promotional advertising. In 2023, we need to continue to address the reliance of high taxation in our city. A long-term steady decrease of our millage assessment for Public Act 33 may be possible once reliable revenues materialize from the Eastland development, combined with the commercial ventures of both the new housing prospects at Popart School location and the venture capital investment of the marijuana industry. The city will also finalize the parks and recreation improvements like new basketball courts in both Johnston and Salter Park and resurfacing of the tennis and pickleball courts. Our projection is for a fund balance of approximately $2,189,396 for 2023. This amount represents approximately 16.87% of revenues. The city is diligently working to achieve a fund balance to revenue ratio of 20%. This emergency fund balance amount should provide approximately 2 months of general fund expenditures. Major and local street funds. There are several new projects planned for 2023. Speed bumps and traffic calming devices will be installed at various street locations throughout the city. Repaving the second half of Beaconsfield Road from Woodland to Vernier will be completed in 2023. Joint seal maintenance will be performed on various streets throughout the city, and spot surface replacement repair work will be performed on many roads throughout the city. These efforts will extend the life cycle of the existing roads. The city is pursuing grants to fund sidewalk improvements. For the library fund, the operating fund for the library presents no cuts in service. Legacy benefit expenses for the library have increased due to the unfunded costs of its pension alumni and present employees. The library millage will be reduced for 2023 due to the Headley Amendment. Restoration efforts of the library basement area due to the excessive damage suffered in the flooding of 2021 will begin in earnest this year. There is a high likelihood staffing levels will need to be increased once restoration efforts are completed. The debt service funds. The millage levy will be reduced from 1 mil to 0.75 mils for the principal, interest, and fees of the 2004 library bond issue. Additionally, the city in 2018 bonded for capital energy improvements. Payments for principal, interest, and fees will be transferred from the general fund to the debt service fund for payment on behalf of principal, interest, and other fees of the capital improvement fund. The Milk River Drainage District. The City Council is required to annually establish the Milk River Drainage District millage as part of the city's annual budget process. The Milk River Drainage District litigation case has been settled in 2022 for $2 million. A proposed millage rate of 12 mils will now finance principal and interest payments due, plus the operation and maintenance cost of operating this system. A total of 8 mills will be added to winter bills, and another 4 mills will be added to summer tax bills. The Vehicle and Equipment Fund. We have not budgeted, nor do we expect, any major equipment purchases from this fund in 2023. Cost of maintaining the equipment are on the rise and will need to be evaluated. The fund balance has recovered from a prior deficit, and the fund is now compliant with all regulations prescribed by the state of Michigan. The city plans on using this fund for vehicle purchases in the future and relieving financial pressure from the general fund. The Water and Sewer Fund. The 2023 water budget for the Water and Sewer Fund will continue to reflect aggressive cash collections of unpaid outstanding water balances for both residential and commercial users. Water and sewer rates will be evaluated this year due to inflation and other factors. The city will evaluate the rates needed to charge residents and commercial users in 2023. This budget reflects not only current operation expenses, but includes future enhancements earmarked for sewer repair and replacement projects. The Water Fund will be required to absorb certain maintenance costs that were formerly associated with the Stormwater Fund. The Refuse Fund. The city's Refuse Fund manages the city's rubbish removal services. It is funded by a dedicated property tax millage and refuse collection fees. The Refuse Fund has budgeted for an increase in fringe benefit allocation due to the MERS increase in pension legacy cost. The Refuse Fund millage rate will be reduced by the Headley Amendment for 2023. No fee increase will be required for 2023, but rates will be needed to be reviewed for future years. Miscellaneous funds. The other funds presented herein are essentially unchanged from prior years. The city established funds for drug forfeiture, K-9, Omni, revolving loan, municipal improvement, and OWI funds for 2023 as well. You are requested to approve the 2023 budget on an activity basis. Line item details have been provided to you in your budget workbooks for informational purposes only. Adoption on an activity basis allows your management the flexibility to adjust line items as may be necessary from time to time and bring budget amendments to the City Council when practical or necessary. We believe the budget presented herein accurately represents the city's financial position and condition. We hereby submit and recommend your approval of the 2023 budget. John Szymanski, Acting City Manager, Maria Naraki, Acting Finance Director.
Madam Mayor?
Any questions from the audience?
It's a quick question. Dawn Rose on Severn Road. My only question is this information available anywhere for the citizens who are not here tonight to be able to review it?
It'll be on the website.
Perfect. Thank you.
Ms. Kavanaugh?
I'm a little bit confused about this Milk River assessment. We have roughly a $210, but it's not ad valorem. So now are you suggesting we're going to have additional fees, assessments for Milk River operations on the tax bills, which would be ad valorem tax?
No.
We're talking about 4 and 8 mills. I'm not sure how this is related to the current assessment on the Milk River drain, which everybody gets the same assessment.
Okay, that assessment has been removed. There is no longer going to be a $210 assessment.
Okay.
And in its place, you're gonna have an ad valorem tax, and that will be tax deductible on your income tax returns.
Oh, okay, so that's a total of 12 mills then, is that?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so it's, well, it's good, you can deduct it, but I was a little confused about, I didn't know about that $210, that was going away. Okay, well, thank you. Mhm.
Anyone else with a question?
Madam Mayor? Yeah, my question is also about the Milk River Drain, the 12 mills. So I guess it's like a follow-up to his question. Since the 210 is being removed, that 12 mills is going to put about how much increase on their tax?
We have to raise approximately $2.6 million. That covers our bond, that covers our interest payments on the bond, and that covers the quarterly operation and maintenance expense of the Milk River Drain, yearly.
Right.
Yearly.
So how much would it be for our taxes?
All depends on your assessment value on your house. I want to say that the majority of the taxable valuation, and you're taxed at approximately 50% of your sales price, and depending on how long an individual has lived in a community, if their property was capped or not capped, the average value of a house, the property tax, is somewhere around $45,000. So the $210 represented approximately 6 to 7 mills already. So taking that off, it's probably going to go up a couple $100 over that. It's probably going to be twice as much as what the $210 value is. And for people that have just, purchased their homes and they're using 50% of the sales price, it's gonna be that much higher. It's gonna be higher, considerably higher. That could be as high as $800, so.
Are there any other questions? Any further discussion? All right, I need a motion to close.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to close the public hearing.
Support. Any discussion on the closing? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item G2, adoption of tax levy resolution 2023 budget. Mayor and council, as noted in the budget message, Public Act 5 of 1982 as amended, requires the city council to establish a tax rate to support the budget. That resolution is found on page 1 of the budget document. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I make the resolution to adopt the tax levy resolution set forth on page 1 of the budget document, hereby establishing the following tax rates for 2023. General, 19.2617, Public Act 359.2060, Refuse, 2.4573, Milk River Drain, 12.000, Library, 1.8458, Debt, 0.750, for a total of 36.5208 mils.
Support.
Support. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
why is this Milk River 12 mils? I mean, it seems rather extreme. It's double what we were paying before.
Because we're required by law to raise enough money to pay the principal and interest payments and operation and maintenance cost yearly, and those costs are about 2.6 million. 12 mils against our taxable valuation base would raise about 2.6 mils. So
What
it's
what about the basins? Are they gonna decrease that amount?
we certainly
Maybe
hope
so.
that. We certainly, that's the intention. That's the intention.
And we can't do that until they're in operation.
It just, I mean, how are we surviving before on $210, and now all of a sudden it's gonna be like probably for most houses $400 to $800 for Milk River now?
Because we had a fund balance that was absorbing the increases. We would have had to come back and adjust upward that fee because the actual debt payment for principal just kicked in last year. We were paying interest, I want to say, from about 2015 up until 19, and now those payments are about $700,000 a year just on principal.
It just sounds like it's, yeah, ouch, that's what it is. I don't wanna do this to our residents. Is there any other choice?
It's gotta be an ad valorem tax. That's the only
That's
way
why we
we
get
can
the
go.
suit.
Yeah, that's why we got the lawsuit. We were sued for having a fee,
Right.
because the fee was on the tax bill, and the fee had to come off, and they were successful. The original lawsuit, as you may know, was $16 million. We were able to negotiate that way down to $2 million, and that has taken the entire balance down to zero. You know, we didn't want this any more than anybody else did. This was a snafu that we got into.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know that the governor has said something about being able to give communities money toward water, and I know that we were hoping that that some of that money would come toward the Milk River. Have we heard anything more about that yet?
No, not yet.
We're kind of holding our breath and waiting for tomorrow, huh?
That's it.
All right. And hoping,
Praying.
because this is a rush.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Yes. I think, Mr. Samansky, you mentioned something about being able to claim something on our taxes. Is that
Yes,
correct?
prior to this, the fee for the Milk River drain was not deductible on your tax form. These mills are deductible.
Madam Mayor, though, doesn't that only apply if you're, if you are claiming more than your standard deduction? Most people don't claim more than their standard deduction.
Yeah, it all depends on your individual tax return.
Right.
But if you can use it, it's usable. It can be deducted.
The fees were not. Is there any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kendall,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
No.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G3, adoption of budget adoption and appropriation resolution 2023 budget. Mayor and council, with all of the public hearing requirements having now been met and the tax levy resolution enacted, the 2023 budget can now be adopted. The adoption and appropriation resolution is found on page 2 of the budget document. It is recommended that this resolution be adopted. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
I'll offer by resolution to approve the budget adoption and appropriation resolution found on page 2 of the budget document, thereby adopting the 2023 budget as presented.
Support.
Support. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor. So item number 2 just set the mills, and item number 3 is actually approving the budget. Correct?
Correct.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kendall,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
No.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G4, establish Milk River drain assessment. Mayor and council, the city has repealed the ordinance establishing the city's stormwater utility fee and will no longer be assessing the fee to property owners under the ordinance. The stormwater utility fee was established to pay the city's drain assessments from the Milk River Intercounty Drain District pursuant to Chapter 21 of the Michigan Drain Code, 1956, PA 40, as amended, MCL 280.511 et al. The Milk River Intercounty Drain assessments include expenses associated with the principal and interest on outstanding bonds related to system improvements and system operations. Section 526 of Chapter 21 of the Michigan Drain Code, MCL 280.526, mandates that the city levy sufficient taxes to pay the drain assessments. In addition, Section 527 of Chapter 21 provides that taxes levied by the city for the payment of the drain assessments shall not be deemed to be within any statutory or charter tax limitation. The city may impose taxes without limitation as to the rate or amount for the payment of the assessments in anticipation of which the bonds are issued, which taxes shall be in addition to any taxes that the public corporation may otherwise be authorized to levy, but not more than the rate or amount sufficient therefore. MCL 280.527. The imposition of sufficient taxes to pay the drain assessments for the payment of debt incurred for reasons of public health may be levied without limitation as to the rate or amount on all taxable properties in the city without public referendum. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman.
I will offer by resolution in accordance with Milk River Intercounty Drain Assessments, Chapter 21, 1956, PA 40, as amended, and its obligations under the Michigan Drain Code. Harper Woods City is mandated to levy 12 mills on all taxable properties in the city to fund the Milk River Intercounty Drain Assessments on its tax bills dated December 1st, 2022.
Support.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
No.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
No.
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Carries, resolution passes.
Okay, item G5, Memorandum of Understanding, T-Poem Employee Retention. Mayor and Council, attached is a tentative memorandum of understanding between the city and the T-Poem DPW union for the purpose of employee retention. We are in the process of recruiting additional staff at DPW and keeping the current employees. This memorandum of understanding will provide a one-time retention bonus in the amount of $2,400 to be paid to this bargaining unit, $1,000 initially, and then 4 equal installments of $350 each quarter for calendar year 2023. Also, I am requesting that a bonus of $2,400 be paid to full-time exempt employees not covered by a collective bargaining agreement, and a $1,000 bonus paid to part-time employees not covered by a collective bargaining agreement. All bonuses will be paid with ARPA funds and will cease on December 31st, 2023. It is recommended that this agreement be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Harper Woods and the TPOAM DPW union for retention bonuses in the amount of $2,400 for the members of this bargaining unit, and also extend the retention bonuses in the amount of $2,400 for full-time exempt employees not covered by collective bargaining, and $1,000 for part-time employees, ARPA funds being used.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Um,
Councilwoman Pies.
I know we approved something at the last meeting. This is in excess of that, or
Yeah.
could you explain
Yeah,
how this
last
came
meeting
about?
was the firefighters.
Oh, right, and this is for the, okay, police
Yes.
officers.
DPW.
Oh, sorry,
Any further?
okay.
Councilwoman?
Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this and trying to keep up with the times. Seems like a small amount, but hopefully it'll help let our employees know that we appreciate them.
Any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor? Yeah, because I see it's for the technical, professional, and office workers. Office workers, I understand. Who are the technical and professional? What personnel is that referring to?
Okay, these are the folks that aren't covered by a collective bargaining agreement. They're all sitting right here, right here, and here.
So you mean
Yeah, everybody
who
that's
works within the main office of the,
main office, library, DPW, courts. Yeah, just everybody that's not covered by a union contract.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah?
For the part-time employees, are those people who work like 20 hours a week or more,
Or less?
or less than 20 hours
Yeah,
a week?
these are the folks that, we have some part-time people that have been working 4 years that have not had any kind of, adjustments or bonuses, and this is a way of showing gratitude.
Well, I'm asking, well, let me go through my thoughts. If we're giving $2,400 to the full-time employees, it's my thought that we should give $1,200 to the part-time employees if they're working 20 hours a week or more. Because that's kind of ripping them off a little bit at only $1,000. I wonder if our, the persons who made the motion would amend it to $1,200 for anyone who works 20 hours a week or more, the part-time people.
This is,
Madam Mayor, I assume there's a limited amount of money that we're dealing with from the ARPA funds.
yes, it's,
Madam Mayor?
yes.
This says it's a memorandum of understanding, which means then that we've already discussed this with the Technical Professional and Office Workers Association and TPUN. So, since that kind of decides it, correct?
That's
We
correct.
can't just change
That's correct.
something
Right.
midstream and it affects our budget as well.
I don't think they would be upset about it.
I think since we have a memorandum of understanding, that takes precedence.
All right, is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks, please.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes,
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G6, emergency repairs, Great Lakes Contracting Solutions LLC. Mayor and council attaches a memorandum from the Deputy Superintendent of Public Works transmitting an invoice for the emergency concrete repair following a water main break on Vernier Road. Due to the emergency nature of this repair, it was not bid out, and also we are required to utilize a MDOT approved contractor. I have reviewed this, and it is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I will offer by resolution to approve payment in the amount of $53,656.23 to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions LLC for the emergency concrete repair on Vernier Road.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know that this came up, if this is the same problem, when I was reading the bill and whatever for 3 main breaks in that same area, it looks like, and I think, do we get any money back from the county when it comes to fixing water mains along Vernier?
We're actually looking for a permanent solution to this. It's not as easy as you can imagine. You know, these mains are going out, you know, by, I want to say by Eastland Commerce Center, and, you know, again, we have to fix them when they break, but we are looking for a permanent solution. That's going to be part of, I want to say, the water study, the upcoming water fund study.
Okay.
Yeah, not only this one, but, you know, the rest of them that have reoccurrence.
Now, this is along Vernier, so that's
Right.
the state highway, so, I mean, do we get
We-
any kind of help?
We apply for grants as needed, you know, where we can, we do. Some things we have to absorb, some things we could get grants for.
Well, let's hope.
Yes.
I know in the past for some of our water mains or whatever, some of our pipes, we've been able to put that liner in it that goes on the inside. That helps with that. Is that something we could do here?
I don't know.
Heather, would you want to just shed a little light on this too, please?
Good evening, Council. I believe in 2024, we are looking for funding to replace the water main on Vernier Road. Due to its size, this point, I don't think, and its age, I don't think that the lining is a possibility because it would have already been presented by our firm, our engineering firm. So I think because of the amount of breaks and the age and the location, I think it has to be completely replaced. So that's something we're exploring for the 2024.
Any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor? I know that our next, item deals with gate valve, and that's also for that Vernier, thing. Is that related, that's still the same, water main break problem?
Yeah, one is cement, the other one is parts and labor on item 7.
Okay.
Any further? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks, please.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes?
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Okay, and resolution passes. I'm sorry, Mayor Kendall.
It's okay.
Got
Yes.
myself all messed up here. Sorry.
Okay, item G7, Vernier Road Water Main Gate Valve Installation. Mayor and Council, we recently reached out to our engineers for a recommendation to approve upon a problematic section of water main on Vernier Road. When repairs have been needed in the past to the water main, the water service has to be shut off at several locations on Vernier, including Lowe's, which has caused major disruption to their business and adjacent fire hydrants. Attached is their response, which is to install a 12-inch gate valve box in order to isolate the problematic section. If and when repairs are needed, the water service to Lowe's and the adjacent hydrants will not be affected. As the correspondence states, there have been 11 such repairs to this section, and installing this valve box is warranted while we continue to seek funding for a complete replacement of this water line. Along with their recommendation, attached are 2 quotes received for this project. One is for parts and the other is for labor costs associated with this. I have reviewed this and it is my recommendation that this project be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution. By resolution to accept the estimate submitted by Guardian Sewers in the amount of $7,000 for the labor required to install the 12-inch gate valve box on Vernier Road, and further to accept the estimate submitted by EJ USA Inc. in the amount of $3,056.58 for the parts needed for this installation.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'm just curious how this ties into, what we had approved earlier for Guardian. I think they were doing some lift thing that they did with PVC. Is this a separate job, or is this combined with that other job, or how does that work?
Well, this is, Heather, if you want, okay.
Heather, you can explain it better.
This is basically, I want to say almost like a preventative measure to keep Lowe's functioning and those fire hydrants functioning in the case of additional repairs needed. So what it is, we can turn the water off before Lowe's so they can still receive water, and that way we're not interrupting their business while we're repairing our main. It is a separate repair.
Okay, so that's different from what
Correct.
we had approved earlier?
Yes.
Not the earlier thing in the new business, but in the consent agenda?
Correct, separate.
Okay, all right, thank you.
This was on recommendation from our engineering firm too.
Okay, all right, I just didn't know how that tied together with
It
that
does.
lift station thing that was, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know in the past we've had some issues with Lowe's. They were supposed to keep all their garden stuff inside the gate, and then they started putting all their garden stuff outside the gate. Are they paying taxes on the property that they're using to put their garden stuff on, because there's a variety of types of taxes, not just the property taxes,
Okay,
but the taxes on
this
their
is
things.
not, this
No,
is not
I'm-
pertaining to this.
Well, no,
So-
because, excuse me,
so-
can I
so-
finish my thought?
Okay, if it's related to the item,
Yes, I mean, I wanna make sure they're paying all the taxes they're supposed to be paying. If we're gonna turn around and spend over $10,000 just so they don't get their water turned off.
well, it's not only their water, it's also the hydrants there. And we must make sure that those things are covered. So this is not just something, it doesn't matter whether Lowe's is there or not. This is something that the engineers deem is necessary for us to function at that Eastland Point right now. That can also be the next building for North Point, because it will be along that same line. So it's not just a Lowe's thing.
I understand that,
Okay.
but I would still like an answer to my question at some time in the very
Well,
near future.
We'll answer that in the future. But right now, I just was discussing this Veneer Road water main. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor? Yeah, I was listening to the description of what she describes. It sounded like a giant, almost like a giant stop valve, like what we put on our plumbing systems to stop the water so that we could do the work. And I see that, the total is about $10,000 roughly. And it's gonna keep, Lowe's and whatever businesses in that area functioning. And my thought was that, since there's been so many repairs that we've had to do on Vernier, it's just a thought for the future that perhaps a stop valve may be beneficial in other spots too. I mean, this is fine, now, but just, in the future, perhaps thinking ahead, maybe stop valves in other spots may be beneficial,
I think
especially with
that's
so
why
many
we're
water
doing
main
the
breaks.
water study, to
Yeah.
see exactly what we need to do. Is that not correct, Heather?
That's correct. We're looking at all the lines that have had multiple ruptures in them, and we're looking for permanent fixes. And if the fix is around having a gate valve box, we will do that. Some of the things they've been caused by this project, just because of the strain of the project and having water being turned on and off. We can't leave hydrants without any water. That endangers all the property around it. So, we're learning too. We're learning too.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes,
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes,
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Item G8, transfer to 2022 winter tax roll delinquent grass cutting, special pickups, and meter replacements. Mayor and council, attaches a request for authorization from the acting treasurer to transfer to the tax rolls delinquent bills not paid by the property owners. We do this annually, and their delinquent bills then become a tax lien on the property. It is recommended that these transfers be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the transfer of $46,679.58 for miscellaneous city services, $13,963 for special pickups, and $3,232 for meter replacements, for a total of $63,874.58 to the 2022 winter tax roll as proposed and submitted by the acting treasurer.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Mhm.
I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I understand that the city will get the benefit of this when this is turned over to the county? Is that how it operates? How this
Yes,
works?
it becomes a lien on the property, and what happens is we will get that amount as the county collects the delinquent taxes.
All right, very good. It's painful to me to see how much money is not being turned over to the city, and it's owed to the city. It's not like the city is going around, you know, arbitrarily asking residents to pay this, that, or the other thing. These are people that have asked to have something done, and they're not paying the bill.
Yes.
And that's painful for a number of reasons. It seems a little higher than it has been in the past. Maybe that's due to COVID, I don't know. But I'm hopeful that people are gonna be seeing a little bit of we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a reduction in this amount in the future.
Hopefully. We can only hope. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Mrs. Frank?
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
the resolution passes.
Mayor, that concludes the city manager's reports.
All right, thank you very much. Now it's called to audience, and you have 3 minutes and 1 time. Anyone want to speak? Everybody don't have to stampede?
Good evening, Lauren Mercer, 20445 Woodside. I'm here today, Madam Mayor, Council, and residents. November 29th, the city will be holding a second public workshop for the master plan. It will be from 6 to 8 p.m. at WC3 off of Veneer Road. I've been speaking with the Economic and Community Development Deputy Director. I offered my time and my energy to knock some doors in the residents to see if I can get some interest into this workshop. We had a few folks show up last time. The master plan is a really big deal for the city. We only do this, what's supposed to be, I believe, around every 5 years. We're finally got the funding to finally do this, so it's been a while. And we would love to know what residents would like to see on this master plan. This would be you all shaping the future for this. Anywho, so if anybody would like to join me, Stephen and I are going to be collecting names, and we're hoping to get out on the streets November 19th and possibly the weekend after Thanksgiving. Everybody is invited to volunteer. You can email me. I am Lauren Mercer, and that's L Mercer, MERCER 1178 at outlook.com. Or you can also email Stephen, who is the deputy director. Stephen's email is slindley at harperwoods.net. Hope to see some of your faces and some volunteers out there. The more, the merrier. Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience like to speak?
Yeah, Don Serrano in Lockmore, just off the freeway. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, November is Men's Health Month, and the promoters would like all the men to grow beards. So if you saw the news, the West Bloomfield Police Department all grew beards. So I was wondering if the Harper Woods Police Department, could do that.
Excellent.
Oh, there he is.
Yes.
If I could just say something real quick about that.
Yes.
Mayor.
Help yourself.
We are, I asked the officers that are allowed to grow a beard because some can't because of the cross training. But, so we're gonna, each officer's gonna donate $50, and then we're gonna take that money and give it to a needy family in town, so. Oh. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? Yes, Mr. Silver. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. I So I'm here for a couple of things again. I believe in the last, by the way, John Shenburn, Roscommon, 19159. Last meeting we had, they said that the semis would not be using Beaconsfield, but yet we have the gravel haulers using Beaconsfield off of Verniers going into along Lowe's in the apartments. It's a constant in and out, in and out, in and out. So can you imagine if we had tried to fix Beaconsfield right now? I thought they were supposed to come in through a different avenue. I know they're down in what used to be the tunnel in the basement, taking all that stuff out of there, but that's still in and out of there, in and out of there. And that's gonna do more damage to it than what we already have.
Okay.
Okay, so, my common beef is the lawns, the ordinances and that. I noticed that we're transferring, but, I called, Safe Built on a couple of houses. They went out, and either I can't see with these glasses or whatever, the lawn's over 6 inches. And he says it ain't. And then my other thing is I told him all these houses that are empty and been vacant for 9 or 10 years, or even 5 years. And the one he looked up, which is right there at Lansdowne and Roscommon, he says, that shows that it's occupied. Owner occupied. Nobody's been in the house for over 7 years. We need to go through our rolls and start checking even better, because we should be collecting the money for inspections and all that, and the house is being vacant. The other guy, he hasn't gotten back to me yet, but the other guy, he's had 2 that's 7 years. He's got, the landlord that owns the other half of my duplex says he's got 6 more on the street. They're empty too. I don't ever see Safe Build over there doing anything. Yet we paid them, what, $42,000? I think that covers it. Sometimes I get up here and forget, but that's CRS.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? All right, seeing none, then we will go to our city council. Starting with you, Councilwoman Constantino.
I would just, like to point out that our Christmas tree lighting ceremony is on November 16th at 6:30. Generally starts right on time, so you want to be there a little bit early. And happy Veterans Day to all the veterans.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, I know that Lauren Fumo Mercer spoke to shaping the future of Harper Woods with our upcoming master plan work. And this is really, you know, we try to get residents very actively involved in this process because it's your community. You know, so we on council all live here, of course, and so tonight's meeting was not a fun one for us either when it comes to deciding on our own taxes here. But we want to make a difference with the community, and So that meeting on November 29th is very important. There is also a paper, this is actually, it's 4 up, so it's only one of these, but there is a code that you can click your phone on, and it takes you to helping to shape the future of Harper Woods, to a survey that residents can participate in. And each one of us here has this. We can leave it up here if you want to come up and click on it. You'll be seeing these, I'm sure, around the community as well. But the more people that are involved in creating Harper Woods and making a difference with what we want to see in our community, the better. You know, I think all of us can get active in making your voices heard about what you'd like to see happening along Kelly Road, along Vernier, along, you know, in our neighborhoods, what we'd like to see happening in our parks, and all of that is part of the master plan. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. I'll leave this up here if you want to come up and after the meeting, you know, take a picture of it or whatever the case might be. I think it's probably also, if not on the city website, then definitely on the community board that's being created online. And you have it too, all right, wonderful. Thank you. And also, I know that if you have anyone who is elderly or incapacitated or whatever, North Point Development staff is partnering with Harper Woods to clean up yards this Saturday, November 12th. They're especially hoping to help seniors and you know, people who might not be able to do that work themselves. And they are asking for more people to volunteer and help because they received a good number of residents that are requesting service. So if you are available, volunteers are going to be meeting at City Hall between 8:30 and 8:45 in the morning, and getting into groups, and then going in the community to help each other, to help residents that need the help when it comes to their yard work.
I had extra.
So that'll be a really wonderful thing. Encourage your children. You know, a lot of kids might be able to also help for some, I don't know if we can give them service credit.
Yeah, they
for
can
the
get service
school.
credit for
Yeah, and it's a nice way of getting service hours. Most schools require, especially high schools, to get service hours, so that might be a very nice thing to do. So more information is available up here for the community. And then Ms. Costantino already mentioned the tree lighting, so that's all.
All right.
Oh,
Councilwoman Williams.
I'm sorry, one more thing, vote. Vote tomorrow.
I'm saving you for last, Ms. Pies, for a reason. Councilwoman Williams.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Just a couple of things. One, I attended the Michigan Municipal League Conference last month. That's a conference for elected city officials, mayor, city council of councils all over the state. I really enjoyed it. That was my first one attending. Got to meet a lot of people from all over, and it's just interesting how government is a little different depending upon whether you are a small city or a large city. It was also interesting that many things we all still share in common, no matter what city it is, which was mental health was a big issue. And so, you know, it was really a great conference. I attended a lot of different sessions. And so, you know, there were some retired police officers at some of the sessions that I went to. Because I went to a lot of the ones on mental health, because I think that's a huge issue that's presenting itself in these days and times. But I really enjoyed the conference, and a couple other people went too. I saw Mayor Kendall, Councilwoman Costantino, and also Councilman,
Tucson.
yeah, Tucson. So we all were there. And the other thing is, voting tomorrow, please go out and vote. If you haven't already dropped off your absentee ballot, then please go out and vote. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter, it is your right to vote. And I do want to wish all the people who are running, you know, good luck in whatever you are running for. And the last one, very dear to me, is Veterans Day, which is Friday. Myself and both Cheryl Constantino are veterans. We both served in the military. And so it's a special day. You know, we gave our time of service to, you know, make sure this country was safe, and you know, we did what we could. So it's a day that I really enjoy because there's a lot of things that's offered for veterans, which is really nice. And so if you know a veteran, you know, thank them for their service, because it's, you know, it's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot of training, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of years, it's a lot of time away from your family, away from friends, away from your people. And so if you know someone, thank them for their service. And I thank you for your service. Okay, and that's it.
Yes, a couple of things really quick. I want to thank the DPW as usual for leaf season. It's been going rather smoothly. I know mine are getting picked up with everyone else's, along with everything else that has to be taken care of in the city. So kudos to you guys over there after the passing of Bill. So good luck, good job. Also, happy Veterans Day to everyone who served. And yeah, get out and vote, guys, please.
Hi, I'm just following up on the voting, encouraging everybody to go out and vote. Many of you may recall the districts, voting districts changed this year. So our Senate district is no longer Wayne County. Our Senate district now includes Wayne County, Macomb County, and St. Clair counties. It goes up along the shoreline, Harper Woods, the Grosse Points, and up along the shoreline. Also, our new representative in the state legislature, that has also changed. It previously, currently we're in State House District 1, which is some of the points, some of the east side of Detroit and all of Harper Woods. That's now changing to 2 counties, Wayne and Macomb. So it's St. Clair Shores, most of it, up to 12 Mile, Harper Woods, and then part of the east side of Detroit. Our congressional district has also changed. Before, until December 31st, we're in the 14th congressional district, which will cease to exist after midnight on December 31st. We're back down to 13 congressional districts in the state, and ours will be mostly Wayne County. So with that in mind, I think over the past 10 years, sometimes we get complacent in our voting, thinking everything is going to go along the way it has previously. But with the new changes in the boundaries, with the new redistricting, there are more, there's more Democrats, Republicans, there's more of a evening out, if you will, of political parties in there. So we shouldn't be complacent anyway about voting, but this is something we might want to be mindful about going forward this year. And I also just want to reiterate that our city clerk, Leslie Frank, she runs excellent elections here in the city. She's safeguards them, they're safe, they're secure. Whenever there's been a problem, she gets right on it. The police show up if necessary. That was years ago, I think. But I want everybody to feel confident in how the elections are held here in Harper Woods. I think we've got a great city clerk who handles this, lots of experience and training. So that said, please vote. Thank you.
All right then, so it's my turn.
It is indeed.
And first of all, since Maria and Leslie are still here. I want to thank you guys for your anniversary just passed in the last week, for your years of service to Harper Woods. So Maria and Leslie.
How many years? How many years?
27.
27?
Oh, wow. They both started when they were in elementary school.
Wow, looking for the votes.
So we really thank you guys for your service to us. We could not do it without you, and we truly, truly appreciate you. And I just wanted to take the time to thank you guys.
Thank you.
Also, with this cleanup on Saturday, and if you have anyone that you know of and they haven't called in or you haven't put their name in, please do it before the 9th. We're going to try to make sure that we cover everyone, but if you feel a little like helping out, I'm looking for volunteers to come and help, because I think North Point did not understand what they were offering and putting out. I have done this for years in this community in Grosse Pointe with another group, and it's a big project. It's more than people think. So if you feel inclined, or you have some young people you like to have them do some sweat equity, then send them our way on Saturday between 8:30 and 8:45. We hope to be at the seniors' homes by 9 o'clock, and if we work fast, we should all be through by 12. We have quite a few seniors that are in need. A lot of them live on those big lots, and they just can't do it anymore. So as in the Harper Woods spirit, I hope that we can continue to do this for our seniors, and I hope that we have enough volunteers to be able to make, as I used to call it, make a senior smile, because they have already paid their dues, and we need to help them to make their rest of their years and their times as comfortable as possible. So I'm asking for any volunteers, and there's paperwork up here that you could call, or you could just show up. If you don't know until the last minute, just show up. We'll find work for you to do. So it's here at City Hall at 8:30 to 8:45. We would expect anybody to be here, and we'll get the show on the road. One more thing is that, as we spoke about the conference, sometimes people think that you go to conferences just to get away. Most times with the MML conference, it is a learning experience. We really don't have workshops with our council people here, and when we get away to those conferences, that is the time that we learn new things and learn what works in another community that may work in your community. Or better yet, it's networking, so that you'll be able to, when you have a problem, you have a group of people that'll stand behind you and to present your problem to powers to be. But it is so important that we always continue to go to these conferences, because we learn. We truly learn. I have learned so much. Veronica and I, really got into, I learned so much by going to MML, and that's the Michigan Municipal League, which is also our insurance carrier. But they have they have a vast amount of information, so we really go there to understand and learn. So I'm thankful that you came. I'm glad that you learned, and I'm grateful that we continue to be able to do these things. So, anyway, as I said, we said earlier, I want to thank the veterans. My husband, ex-husband, he's now deceased this year. This is the first time that we did not attend the Veterans Parade because he died in March. But I also want to thank the family members of veterans because we also upheld them while they were serving. My ex-husband was in Vietnam, and we wrote letters, sent care packages, and all those things. And that's very important that even today with our veterans, well, with our soldiers and our military, that we need to continue to hold them, lift them up and let them know that they're important because they are important for the democracy of our country. And they have been willing to go and serve. Back in the day, it was a draft. You didn't have much choice. But now it's a concerted effort that you choose to go to serve. So I think, you know, whatever we need to do to show a veteran's appreciation, if it's nothing but a smile when I see a veteran with the cap on or whatever, I say thank you for your service because it's very important. My ex-husband had to get out of his uniform when he came home from Vietnam. I met him right after he got home, but he had to get out of his uniform when he landed in California from Vietnam because back then they were calling them baby killers and not giving them the proper respect. So in today's time, we need to make sure that we make every veteran feel that we value what they have done, the sacrifice that they made, and show them a little love. And with that, Mr. Jennings?
I'd like to make the motion for adjournment.
Support.
Did I get a second?
Yes.
Yes, support.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now adjourned. Thank you, everybody.